What's going on, guys? I'm SimpleSimon. Welcome to One Beer, Three Comics, a video series that I've been doing that no one's been watching, but that won't stop me. So this video series hasn't really caught on, but it's okay because the beer I've got today might lure some of you guys in. But before I do that, if you guys don't know how this works, I basically show you a comic book, show you a beer, show you another comic book, drink the beer, and then show you a third and final comic book before I let you know what I thought of said beer. Just a quick shout out to my some minions. Your support is greatly appreciated. Channel membership is now available. To find out more, hit the join button to find out about perks and exclusive videos and content. But always remember, your membership is not required. The best way to support the channel is by liking and commenting on all the videos. Let's do this. We're going to get straight into the first book, and it is a classic one. This book is Batman Damned issue 1. At the time it came out, it had a lot of controversy, but this book has a lot of meaning for me. This book represents how I became friends with Mark at Big City Comics. I've told the story a few times over the years on my channel, but I like this story. It's a great story. At the time when I was collecting comic books, this was very early on. I'm talking about year 1, like less than 12 months into my comic book collecting. On my days off, on the Wednesday, I used to just go to different comic book shops. Sometimes I'd go to the city and I'd go to multiple comic shops. And in the morning what I'd do is I would just Google the word comic shop Melbourne, and you know, the same list would show up every week. How comic books worked back then, back when new release day was actually a thing on Wednesdays, most of the shops here on new release day wouldn't actually release their books until about 4 p.m. It was like a thing to line up with, I guess, America Hitting Midnight or something like that, right? I don't know if that's a rule that you have to go by, but every store kind of followed the rule where if you went in the morning on new release day, you wouldn't get your books. They'd say you'd have to wait until, it was like 4 p.m. Batman Damned was the first book that I was really excited for. Black Label was new. I was like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. As a new reader, this is what I want. And the day Batman Damned came out, I knew that if I went to any shop, I wouldn't be able to get it. But just for some reason that day when I woke up in the morning, Big City Comics appeared in my Google search. And I was like, how have I never heard of this Big City Comics? It was actually the closest comic book store to me. So I rang the number, which was Mark's mobile. Probably 20-30 minutes before he opened, he answered the phone. I was like, hey mate, do you put new release books on the shelf when you open? And he goes, yep, as soon as we open, 12 o'clock. I was like, oh cool, I might come in. He's like, bye. Bye, Mark. So I went in there for the first time. He had Batman Damned on the shelf. I was able to pick up a book I really wanted on the day of release. And I remember Mark used to have a posse of customers that used to come in and buy their new release books as soon as he opened. And he had a crowd of people that would do this. I remember people looking at this book and just not being interested because of the format, which I also thought was weird at the time. Being new, I was like, why is it in this size, right? Nonetheless, I really want to read Batman Damned. That day, I actually decided to read it as well, and I saw Bat Dong. And I remember 2 days later, a friend of mine told me, have you heard? They've recalled that book. And all of a sudden, this book was gone at crazy prices at the time. It's dropped a lot now, but a lot of history with this book. It means a lot to me, this book. I would really like to send this off to get graded one day, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But that is Batman Damned, a great book that I have in my collection. First appearance of Bat Dong. Alright, so that was a pretty lengthy story. So you guys are probably waiting to see what beer I have for you today. And boys and girls, do I have a beer to show you? Today's beer is brought to you by 8-Bit Brewing Company, and it is called the Tart Night. That's right. Can you believe it? It's got Batman on the can. I had to get this and do a video on this. And this has been in the fridge for probably close to a month now. The last episodes I filmed were both on New Year's Eve, so it's been over a month since I filmed the last episode of this. I kind of just spread them out, but I've been dying to drink this. It's been sitting in the fridge. It's nice and frosty, and we're gonna get into this. I cannot wait to drink this. If you guys are new to the channel, I always leave the website for the brewing company if you want to find out more information about 8-Bit Brewing Company. But yeah, I am super excited. The flavor, it says, It says it's a sour IPA, 7.4%, pineapple, tangerine, Idaho 7, whatever that is, and Motueka. Don't know what that is. But I'm excited. Hopefully it has the sour kick to the face that I'm looking for. I'm super excited for this. But before we get into the drink, let's show you the second book. Boom, there it is. So this is actually a recent book I picked up. It's a nothing book. Because we're doing a Batman beer today, I figured I'd keep the books Batman family themed. So this is Batgirl issue number 15. It's actually a book Sarah recently gave me. She's recently been going through her collection and culling a lot of the books that she doesn't necessarily need in her collection. Obviously she saw this as a Kiss cover. She asked me if I had it and I said, I've never even seen that cover. So yes, I would love to have this awesome Kiss cover. Very, very nice. Nightwing and Babs, or Dick and Babs as we like to say. I'd never seen this cover until Sarah gave it to me. So that is the second comic book there. Today's glass is not brought to you by Captain Sorrow. I have a new glass in town. Today's glass is brought to you by... Shout out to Old Wolf. Old Wolf was kind enough to send out a customized Old Wolf 65, or it just says Old Wolf, oh no. Old Wolf 65 beer glass. So shout out to Old Wolf. Thank you for the beer glass, mate. Hopefully it'll fit the Powerpuff Girls one, even though they're technically both, I think 16 ounces is what they are. This looks a little bit smaller, but we'll see. So here is the pour. This is my favorite part of the video, where I pour the beer. Ooh, we listen to that crack. Let's see what color it is, and remember the game we play? I'm colorblind, so you let me know what color this is. Ooh, that looks pretty beer-like. That's a pretty beery color, if you ask me. Come on, fit. Oh! No, so Old Wolf's glass is just a little bit small, but that's okay. I can't complain with a free glass. Look at that. Let us know in the comments what color that beer is. The good thing about it not fitting is I can have a sip and then I can actually pour more in there, so that's kind of fun too. Alright, so I'm going to have a sip and then I'm going to shout out a comic book channel. Cheers! Ooh, I like that. Yep, sour's there. It's good. Good amount of sour. I like that color. It's nice. That's nice. I like that. Ooh, I like that. All right. Last episode, I think I edited out the burp sounds for a sound effect. Let me know which ones you prefer. Do you like the sound effect burp, or do you prefer to hear the real deal, the real thing? Every video, I try to shout out a comic book channel, and I try to shout out someone who's a beer guy. Now, a couple times I wasn't prepared and actually shouted out whiskey guys instead. That's not happening anymore. Today's shout out is going to go to my main man, Nahman, the comic bookworm. He is definitely a beer guy. If you ever see my man Nahman on a live stream, more often than not, he's got a beer in his hand. So Nahman, cheers to you. The link to the Comic Bookworms channel will be in the description below. Check him out. Nahman is just a funny old man, and I hope when I'm, his age in like another 50 years, I'll be as cool as he is. So shout out to you, Nahman, and cheers. Ooh, yeah, I like this. All right, so the third book I'm going to show you is, again, we're keeping this Batman family themed. And obviously my favorite character is Red Hood, so I had to show a Red Hood book. And you guys might think this is not exciting, but I love this cover. This is one of my favorite Red Hood covers. It is the Three Jokers issue 3. And it is a very nice Red Hood cover there. Here's a beautiful cover by Jason Fabok, I call him. A lot of people say Fabok. I don't know how you say it, but who cares? Jason Fabok is how I'm going to say it. Love this cover. Now, I mentioned before about Batman Damned how it was one of the first books I was really excited for. The Three Jokers was a book I was just as excited for. And the craziest thing is that the Three Jokers was being talked about not long, or maybe around the same time as Batman Damned had come out. And then like 2.5 years later, maybe, it finally came out. Three Jokers was one of the most delayed books ever, but I really, really enjoyed the art style in it. The book was actually quite good if you hadn't read Three Jokers. The whole premise of it, though, was better than what the story ended up being. The first issue was absolutely fantastic. You read that first issue and you cannot tell me that you didn't want to keep reading after the first issue, but it just kind of went in a very... Who wrote it? Jeff Johns. It was very Snyder-esque as it kept going. But anyway, I like the start, I like the end. Art was fantastic, and I wanted to show a Red Hood cover. This is not quite my favorite, but it's up there as one of my favorites. My favorite is actually probably the newer Red Hood cover. Similar, just a face shot by Yasmin Putri. The reason I didn't show that book is just because this one is a little bit easy to get to. I was really unprepared today. Normally I have these books ready. After my second book I was like, oh wait, I didn't even choose a third book. That's how prepared I am. Cheers. Alright, I drank that pretty quick. But whew, what did I think of this beer? It was pretty good. Very citrusy. How many have I done? This is episode 6, I think. I would probably rank this. I still think the blueberry was the best, so I'm not going to rate it number 1, but I would say that this would be in the top 3. The blueberry is still my favorite. The super sour, because it was so sour, I loved that. This was very similar, but the sour just wasn't as powerful, but it was still a good amount of sour. I always mention the ones when you buy the cans in like a 4-pack of sours, they're never as sour. They just have a hint of sour. This was like a good level of sour that I liked, so I'll definitely rate this beer. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing these videos just because, again, they're not getting many views, which doesn't really matter. I'll still do it. Anytime I get a new beer, I will probably do this show. I just don't know how often I'm gonna do it because I really need to go on a diet. I might keep an eye out to see what other beers 8-Bit Brewing do because I quite enjoyed that. And obviously, like the can, I've been keeping all my cans, and as far as can designs go, this is obviously number 1 for sure. So hope you enjoyed that. Not the burp, but the video. Again, if you guys do enjoy this, please let me know in the comments because they don't get a lot of views. But you know, I like going through and sharing some of my older books that I haven't shown for a while. It's good to be able to go through your boxes. As Sarah always says, your books, you spend money on your books and they just sit in a box. But it's good to be able to go through and actually bring back some of them and, you know, show them again. So if you guys enjoy this series, please let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. If you want to know more about 8-Bit Brewing Company, their link will be, their website will be in the description below. Please check out Naman, a comic bookworm. His channel link will be in the description below as well. And don't forget, I've got a Redbubble store now, so if you want to support the channel even further, get some SimpleSimon merch printed on some stickers or t-shirt, whatever it is. The link to my Redbubble store will be there. Channel membership is now live, so I appreciate all my channel members. And yeah, until next time, I'm SimpleSimon. Tell your friends and keep it simple.